big girl anchoring for us. Yeah, well, it's still the sack race and the marathon. You want to be able to go off the marathon. How do you figure that?
Maybe I should just go in there and steal Zoe back.
You do that and you'll prove them right, that you aren't a responsible mother.
Well, then how do I convince them that I am?
By playing the rules and being as organised as they are. Now, tomorrow we get a good solicitor, and in the meantime, you drink your drink and try and get some rest.
Bloody Adams, thought he was hanging around more than usual.
Well, I bet you $10 he's doing it off his own bat. Score a few career points.
And we report him to the government, invasion of rights or something. Rights? We haven't got any.
We've got our own ways of dealing with snoops.
Yeah, what do you got in mind?
I'm not sure yet, but I reckon it's time to show the slime he's getting way out of his depth.
Blank, not a single sound.
You sure you turned it on?
Of course I did. What do you take me for? The machine must have malfunctioned.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to do it again.
You're joking. Connors would smell a rat for sure.
But I need that
Listen, I don't know what the big deal is, but I'm not risking my neck again, okay?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Hey, aren't you forgetting something?
What?
We had a deal, remember?
But it didn't work.
Oh, it's not my problem. I kept my end of the contract.
Look, if you think I'm going to... Hang on, how do I know you really did talk to Connors? Maybe you turned the tape off.
So now you're trying to wriggle out of it by blaming me, hey? I thought you were smarter than that.
Well, what's so smart about paying something for nothing?
Well, I thought we were at the beginning of a very profitable relationship. Now, why would I try to mess that up?
Yeah? Well, there's not going to be any profit this time.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
What do you mean?
Well, I wonder what would happen if the governor found out you'd been spying on the prisoners.
You wouldn't lag, you wouldn't be game.
You want to risk it?
No.
Sit down, I'll get us a drink. What would you like?
Gran deserved better than that. It was dreadful.
Yes, I know how you cared.
I know we couldn't have afforded an expensive funeral, but that
Laurie.
was cheap and nasty. After all Gran's done for me, I go and treat her like that.
Come on, that's rubbish.
Is it? If I hadn't have gone to prison, Gran would still be alive. I had no right to ask that lovely old lady to take care of Zoe. It was too much for her.
Now, you listen to me. Look, from what you've told me, she was a wonderful woman.
Oh, Joan, she was the best.
Right. And looking after that little girl was the one great happiness in her life.
She loved us so much. I just wish you could have seen them together.
Well, love like that doesn't die with the person. Now, part of that will be with Zoe for the rest of her life. And, Laurie, if you're going to share in that love, you're going to have to do something about it. And I mean now.
Well, what do I do?
Well, for a start, you can go and clean your mother's house and get out and look for a job.
What about Zoe? I've got to get her back.
Well, you won't get her back by moping or stealing cars or making a nuisance of yourself. You have to prove to the courts that you can look after her, that you're an adequate mother.
Adequate? I am her mother.
And the Hoskings are a fine couple. They have a good home, a regular income. Laurie, you've got no job, no money, and you've got a criminal record. Now, if you had to give custody, who would you award it to?
Oh, great. Now you're taking their side.
I'm simply asking you to try and be more objective.
Objective? This is my baby that we're talking about. Doesn't that mean anything?
Laurie, I told you what I went through with Shane. I know how the courts think.
Have I got any hope at all?
At the moment, I'd say the odds were pretty much against you. But if you get cracking, I reckon you could swing them around to your side.
All right. Where do I start?
Well, you start by going to the CES, and then you get a lawyer. I'll give you the name of mine.
I can't afford a lawyer.
Laurie, you
that.
qualify for legal aid. And then maybe you should...
Yes?
As much as I hate to say it, I think you should go to the Prisoners Reform Group. I don't hold with a lot of the things they say, but they do have some success with new releases, and you're going to need all the help you can get.
it's really worth a fuss, I don't see why you just don't tell the Gov. She doesn't strike me as the sort of person who'd make the officer spy us.
Oh, yeah, and she's sure to believe us and all. And Rodney Adams will confess and quit and we'll all live happily ever after.
Yeah, well, I was only trying to help.
Well, don't. We'll do our own dirty work.
Oh, go easy, Rita. Wendy's new, remember?
You wimp by the sounds of it.
Yeah, she's still learning the ropes.
Hey, that's it. Ropes. The tug of war. That's our chance to take a piece out of Adams.
Beauty! Now you're talking.
Well, do we really have to?
Have to what?
Get back at Adams. He didn't get anything.
Just because you're new here doesn't mean you can't use your brain. If we let him get away with this, there's no telling what he'll do next.
He wouldn't try again, would he?
Oh, you don't know Adams.
What does it take to get through to you? He'll stop at nothing.
Yeah, we've had our fingers burned with him before.
And if he's taken it into his little tiny mind to prize the name of your boyfriend out of you, this little setback won't stop him. He has to be taken down a few pegs.
Yeah, for your own protection.
They're right, Wendy.
Okay. Oh, of course, some screws are born snoopers.
It's enough, Glover.
Well, maybe you're trying to set us up too, are you?
Now, you've got a visitor, but I can cancel it if I like.
Save you the paperwork, too much trouble.
Boy, they sure get up each other's noses.
I just wish you let Adams get to her like Morris does.
Hey, speaking of Adams, we've got some serious plotting to do.
And the women worked really hard during the bushfires, made sandwiches for the firefighters, took donations for the telethon. So when they mentioned the sports day, I thought, why not?
Great. I'm impressed.
Well, why not stay and watch it? We could have lunch first.
I'd love to, but this afternoon's a wipeout. You know how it is when you move back to the city. And if I don't find somewhere to live soon, I'll go walkabout. Can't stand motels.
Well, if you could hang on for a few days, you could move in with me. I'd love to have you.
Oh, I'm an awful bore these days. I find it hard sometimes to leave the problems in the office.
Oh, we could have some good times, like the old days. You'd be doing me a much bigger favour than I'd be doing you. And I'd love to have your company, especially now. Come in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realise that you had someone with you.
It's all right. I was just leaving. I'll see you later.
Yes, and think about my offer.
I will. Bye.
Look, I'm taking enough risks in this operation without your officers adding to them.
I beg your pardon.
Do you have any control over your staff? I'm assuming you wouldn't order a screw to spy on the prisoners, or would you?
Of course not. What's happened?
There was a tape recorder hidden in the shower block recording all the women's chit-chat until they found it.
Well, what makes you think that an officer put it there?
There were witnesses, including me. The women think it's a play to find out the name of Malleson's boyfriend, and mine for that matter. They foiled it, but I tell you what, they're hopping mad and they're out for blood.
Well, the officer will have to be warned and disciplined. Who was it?
Sure, and send up a signal loud and clear that someone's lagged? No way.
Won't know it's you.
Maybe not. But sooner or later, someone's going to wonder about all these trips I make to your office.
I'm sorry, but I can't allow the women to take the law into their own hands.
Why not? You let your staff.
I've told you the officer will be disciplined as soon as I find out who it is. This is getting us nowhere.
So it seems.
Right, well, if I can't warn a particular officer, I'll have to alert them all. It's the best I can do, unless you have some other suggestion. Right. Anything else?
Yeah. May I use your phone?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Gee, why did this have to happen just when I got to be top dog?
Them's the breaks, Lurch. It goes with the territory.
Yeah, but I didn't want the aggro just when I was settling in.
What are you worried about? By the time we finish with Roddy Boy, the women will be so impressed.